Hi, often in business and in life, we are faced with a crisis. Whether you are a government agency, a large enterprise, or a small medium business, we deal with crisis from time to time. No matter the scale of your business or your organization, there are three fundamental things you need to do in dealing with a crisis. One, you must own the situation. You must communicate and just own it. There's no need hiding or keeping quiet. In fact, at that point in time, keeping quiet or staying silent is the worst thing to do. Two, the leader of the organization must be seen and heard. You must be front and center in communicating and dealing with the crisis. Three, you must overcorrect. You must do whatever you can do to make sure that you overcorrect the situation. You make sure that you reverse the negative effect of that crisis. And I'll give you a few examples. In the last few months, Nigeria and Nigerians have gone through a series of crises. As we speak, we have the situation with the election. I won't really talk much about that. But more recently, we had a scenario with fuel scarcity when the NNPC kept quiet for weeks, kept quiet. The president, being the minister of petroleum, also kept quiet. They didn't handle that crisis properly. Similarly, we had the Naira shortage crisis where the CBN kept quiet, didn't handle the situation, and sadly didn't overcorrect the situation. So that crisis wasn't handled well. But also similarly, or in a reverse, a scenario where the government or government agency handled the situation fairly well was during the early times of COVID. Remember, we had the Presidential Council working with the NCDC. The communication was really great then. We had frequent briefings. They used social channels to communicate in terms of what to do if you have COVID or interact with someone who had COVID. And they overcorrected. They closed the borders. They had certain framework to manage the COVID situation in Nigeria. That was a really good example or a fair example of dealing with crisis. From a small business perspective, I once gave an example where I ran a gifting company or a gift company, and during Valentine's Day we disappointed a few customers, and in that scenario we acted decisively. We reached out to the customers. We also refunded the payment for the service and for the goods. In that scenario, we overcorrected, we actively communicated, and in addition to refunding and communicated, we gave a few gifts here and there, and the customers were happy to stay with us, and we were able to keep all our customers at that point in time because of how we manage crisis. I hope you've learned something today. Have a fabulous day.